Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on today's video tutorial I'm going to show you a pretty darn easy way to make some of the most adorable tea towels with ruffles. So just the other day we made two t-shirts that we added these little ruffle sleeves to, and I've been so inspired by the whole ruffle idea that I've been experimenting a little bit with tea towels. And oh my goodness, these are gonna turn out so cute. They'll be washable. The base of them actually starts with this. It's Craft Basics 2-pack tea towel hemmed, and there's a loop in the corner. These are 18 by 28 inches. They're really nice, thick fabric. This is sort of an ivory color that I got. They look like this. They came from Walmart. Okay, so these tea towels, see, they have this nice little corner and they're hemmed. They're nice fabric. They're not like your typical flour sack tea towel. These are in the crafting section at my store, at my Walmart, next to the embroidery supplies. Because they do have flour sack tea towels next to the t-shirts that you can embellish, but this is in a different part of the craft section near the embroidery stuff. So this is what we're going to be using, and then one of my followers, sweetheart, her name is Cheryl Anderson. She sent me a whole box of different fabrics, including, this is a mess now because I've been playing with it, several jelly rolls. And this jelly roll set is so cute. I'm loving the colors. Okay, what is a jelly roll? In case you don't know, it's a whole bunch of coordinating, generally, long strips of fabric that people use in quilting, okay? And why do they call them jelly rolls? Well, usually because when they're for sale, they're all rolled up neat. I think I have one right here. Let me just show you. She sent a box of multiple awesome things. It looks like this, okay? And this, it looks sort of like a jelly roll. So that's why they call it that. You can get these. I don't know where she got these, but Cheryl, thank you so much. We're gonna have so much fun with the fabric that you sent. And I am gonna spread the love and gift some of it out in my blessing boxes and different things coming in the next, over the next few weeks. But anyways, so you can find jelly rolls at Hobby Lobby, at Joann's. I've seen them at Tuesday Morning, any kind of fabric store, or really a craft store. Sometimes Michael's is gonna have them. They're around 40 inches long, I believe. And let's see, how wide are they? So if you can't get a jelly roll, they're 2.5 inches wide this way. If you can't put your hands on actual jelly roll fabric, you can always cut strips. So that's what we're going to be using. Oh gosh, and I've got little scraps all over. Before it came live, I made this one using the same kind of a tea towel, and I used a little piece of the fabric from this jelly roll that was just kind of this funky green color. And then I used this adorable stencil from Magnolia DIY.com, and we'll be using it for the other two that we're gonna make. And I'll get you a link at the end if you're interested. And I used ink, also from Magnolia. This is called Magnolia Green. It's a great color. Anyways, we'll be using a couple other colors too. So once I heat set it with my iron, then it'll be permanent and be washable, and this part will be permanent and washable too. So let me just tell you a couple more things and then I'll jump in. So this whole tea towel that I did right here, I did the gathering of the jelly roll fabric using my sewing machine, and then I stitched it with my sewing machine on to the tea towel, And then I used my fabric glue gun, which is a Sherbonder low temperature hot glue gun, and the fabric glue to attach some of this adorable little rickrack it's pretty vintage. Somebody sent it to me a long time ago. And yeah, so I used my sewing machine for the majority of this, but then I attached the rickrack with the fabric hot glue. For the next ones that we're gonna do the gathering with the sewing machine, because that really is the easiest way. But you can use this a needle and thread to gather your fabric. And yeah, and then I'll show you, we'll attach it to our tea towel with hot glue, and then we'll stencil. Okay, and it's not complicated, I promise. So this is what we'll be doing in a minute, is attaching this one to this tea towel. But before we get there, and I need to get all of that little fuzz off of it, before we get there, let me show you how to get your, looking through my fabrics, how to get your little pieces of, your pieces of your jelly roll, how to get those prepared. And let's see, what should we do? I had pulled one out. Oh, it was this one right here. Okay, this is what we're going to use. So, I don't know if you grew up sewing, but I did. And my mom always told me, in fact, she always insisted, because she's the one that taught me how to sew, that I have to iron before I sew. And honestly, it really does make everything so much easier if you iron your pieces into the shape that you're going to want before you sew them. So this is a little bit long, and like I said, the bottom of the tea towel that we're going to be working on is this, and it's 18 inches wide. So I used a whole strip on this, and it was kind of a lot. So I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter. It is 44 inches long right now. Let's cut off 6 inches and have it be 38. Okay? That will make it a little easier to manage also. I'm going to cut these little end pieces of the fabric off too. Once you get your ruffles going, it won't matter if it's a little bit messy. So what do you guys think about this t-shirt? Yesterday, for Christ and Crafting, I wore the blue one. This one we made with a t-shirt from Target, and this was just some fabric that I did a hand basting with a needle and thread to get the ruffle, and then I sewed this one on. The other one I did glue. Okay, let me move my little handy dandy ironing board over here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, first thing you want to do is, I'm going to get this wet. This is just my little spray bottle, my little Magnolia spray bottle that has distilled water in it, because I use that in my chalk paste. But I'm basically going to fold my little jelly roll strip in half, and I'm going to press it flat. And then I am going to buzz over to my sewing machine to do the running stitch or the basting stitch, and I'll show you that in just a minute. That honestly makes it so much easier and quicker than trying to hand stitch, you know, all the way the length of your project to then cinch it up and create a ruffle. So what is everybody up to today? Let's see. Did I say any of my normal stuff? say hello as you're hopping on. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you so much for the stars. Feel free to sprinkle. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. If you want links for any of the Magnolia stuff at the very end, or even now you can say it. Just say link and I'll get it for you so you don't have to hunt it down. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I think those are the basics. Okay, so I basically just folded this in half and put this back over here. Okay, now I'm gonna just use my sewing machine to do a running or a basting, or there's another word for it. I'm not a super seamstress. I just know enough about using my sewing machine to do the things that I want to do. But anyways, I'm gonna hop over here. I'll turn my camera so you can see my back. And I'm gonna do a quick running or basting stitch. And then I'll come back over here and I'll show you how to cinch it up. It's easy. So, let me see. Whoops. There is my sewing machine. Okay. And I just have like a creamy ivory thread in my sewing machine. So you're not going to do the back and forth when you start. And I have my stitches set. So it's a pretty big space in between them. I don't know what that's called in actual sewing terms, but you can see how much quicker this is. Oh my word. Okay, and then I'm going to leave a good long bit of thread here at the end. Okay, let me move my camera back. Sorry, I don't mean to make you dizzy or seasick or anything like that. Let's come over here a little bit further. Okay. And I've got so many little bits of stuff everywhere that before we stencil, I'm going to have to clean that up, because anytime you have little bumps underneath your stencil, it can mess it up. Okay, this is what it looks like. And what I have found is that there's one side that you can pull the string and it will cinch it up. The other side you cannot. And you're going to want to cinch it from both sides. Okay, so see, basically I'm just pulling one side of the string and scooching the ruffle down. And those are technical terms. Let's see. Okay, you know what? If you're watching this live on Facebook, I have something to say, but if you're watching this later on Facebook or on YouTube, just ignore what I'm about to say. We have another dang troll on here. This is so aggravating. And he's done a bunch of the middle finger and just all kinds of not good stuff. So if somebody could report him, I would appreciate it. And then don't answer or respond to him or anything. I do not understand this, but you guys, it happens every single day. Although they have been getting more obscene lately. There's just nothing I can do about it. I don't know why they want to interfere with me, this middle-aged crafting lady, but they just do. They want to steal your money. That's what they want to do. Anyways, I'm done with my rant. It's just so aggravating. So somebody report them, please. His name is Rajesh. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he's a troll, a total scammer, a liar, a fake, all that. And there's another one on there too. Dang it. Sorry for the French. Anyways, I don't know how to tell you how to report it, but yes, I can. I will ban him and block him as soon as I'm done. But in the meantime, if somebody who knows how to do that could report him, that is helpful too. Okay, so we're just going to keep cinching and moving our ruffles down. And then we're going to figure out what is about 18 inches. Okay, let's try from this side. And I'm going to show you the hot glue method of attaching this. You can also sew it on. But I thought, that's what I did with this one, is I sewed it on. And then I glued the rickrack over the top. But you can do it either way. Okay. And you're gonna have, when you do this, you're gonna have spots where it's super cinched up and it wants to kind of roll. And what you need to do is just do your best to get the little cinches evenly spaced. It's like wrestling a snake. Look, I've got it all over my shirt now. You do want to be gentle because you don't want to break your thread. I'm finding that this other side is not wanting to cinch tighter, so we're going to go at it from this side. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. On one end, I'm going to tie the two pieces of thread in a couple of knots so that it doesn't uncinch itself. And then I'm going to cut that end off. I'm going to leave the other end as it is so that we can adjust it. All right, and let's get the tea towel out. And I like to put the ruffle on the end that does not have the little loop. And make sure that you're on the front of your tea towel. You can look where the hem is to tell whether you're on the front or the back. Okay, so let's start with the side that is tied in a knot. And I'm going to basically pin it just to get it in place on my towel. And I'll show you basically what scooch this down, how far down I'm putting it. But this is personal preference, however you are liking it. Dang, there we go. And I just want to pull it out long enough that it is 18 inches long. And I'm going to pin this side onto my tea towel and then we'll adjust it. Can you guys see okay? I think you can. Great idea for flowers to try. So I had so much fun doing the ruffled t-shirts, the sleeves. if you're joining me late and you're wondering, ooh, what a cute t-shirt she has on. We made it here. That I wanted to fiddle around with. I was in the mood to use my sewing machine. So that's how we ended up doing this project today. Why is this not wanting to scooch down? There we go. Okay, so basically what you do is you get your ruffles sort of figured out how you want them to be on here. And then you're going to pin it down in 3 or 4 places. And I've already done that on this other one, so I'm going to pick it up there and show you, so you're not sitting here wasting time watching me try to adjust my ruffles. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside and I will come back to it after I'm done with this. Okay, this is the one that I have all set to go. It was exactly the same steps, and I still have the string on one side that I'm going to tie in a knot because I have it where I want it, and I'll cut it off. And this was just the running stitch or basting stitch that I did on my sewing machine, but you can do it by hand with a needle and thread. And I have it pinned down. And what we're going to do, I mean, you could keep fiddling with the ruffles for hours, but honestly, they don't have to be perfect. Okay, and I'm using a Sugar Bonder low temperature hot glue gun with the fabric glue, which means that it will be washable, and that's important. I would not use a regular hot glue on this project. Your alternative is to sew it. But if you don't want to sew it, or you don't have a sewing machine, then you can use Sugar Bonder, and this is what the fabric sticks look like. Okay, and somebody told me after I was live the other day working on the t-shirts, somebody told me that you can get black fabric glue sticks that are black. Okay, so I just laid a little bit of glue down and I pushed my ruffle into it. And now I'm just going to move off a couple of the pins and put some glue right here and push my ruffle into it. This is super easy. I mean, it is seriously even easier than doing it on your sewing machine, and it's quicker. And you may end up with a little bit of glue that's kind of poking out, that you might have to use a heat gun or a blow dryer to heat it up, and then you'll be able to pull it off. So who saw Christing Crafting yesterday? I'm super curious. Oh my word, look at all those stars. You guys are so generous. Thank you so much. This was the project yesterday for Christing Crafting. We talked about the Waymaker verse from Isaiah, and also we've been into Exodus and talked about how when Moses and the Israelites were, when he was leading them out of captivity from Egypt into the Promised Land, how they hit a dead end at the Dead Sea. In front of them was the sea, behind them was the Egyptian army on the chase. And there was no way forward in front of them or behind them. And God made a way. So this is supposed to look like one side of the Red Sea parting. But anyways, this was the project that we did yesterday, and I talked a lot about silver platters, what's real, what's not real, where to get them, just all kinds of details. And then we talked about those verses and how God is our waymaker. And so if you missed that and you want to, you can always come back anytime and watch it on replay here at DiyDreaming. And to get to it, you would just click on the videos tab, and everything's labeled. That's one thing I'm a little obsessive about, is making sure that I get all my videos labeled so you know what you're looking at. Because I want it to be convenient for you, if you can't watch live, that you can come back when it's good for you, like in the middle of the night if you can't sleep like me sometimes. And you can get caught up and watch whatever videos you might want to watch. And you'll know what you're going to be watching. Okay, we're almost there. You can see just how totally easy this is. Oh my goodness. All right, let's do the very end of it. This is what it looks like. Easy, easy, easy peasy. If you're hopping on now, you can come back and watch on replay and hear exactly how I did all of this. You may want to come back also and do a little more glue just to make sure everything's attached on there really good. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to move on to the next step. And that is, I've got all these little, tiny little bits from the fabric, from the jelly roll pieces that are on my towel. And I don't want to get those in my stencil, in the sticky side of the stencil. So I'm going to use a lint roller. This works great. You should have one of these in your craft room or close by. I use it all the time. And most of this I can shake off, but this, look how much was on just that little bit. But what I want is for there not to be any of that in the area that we're going to stencil. Okay, and now I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to press a crease just down the middle. This is going to help me center my stencil. Okay, we're going to be using this adorable, oh my gosh, this is so adorable. This new stencil from MagnoliaDIY.com that has these two pieces. This one says, "Bless our home with love and laughter." And this one says, "In this kitchen we make messes and memories." And you guys, I've said this before, but you can never be too rich, too thin, too young. That was, I think, Katharine Hepburn or Audrey Hepburn or some famous movie star said that. Or, quoting myself, have too many tea towels. You really just can't ever have too many tea towels. So, tea towels make a great little gift. For no reason at all to give somebody, or if you're invited over to someone's house for Easter dinner, or just if you just need a little something, a tea towel that you made is great. Okay, we're going to do this one. Bless our home with love and laughter. And as always, I labeled the back of it. Okay, now this is where my crease is. So I know where the center is. And you can adjust this as low or high as you want. And I have this blue silicone mat underneath my fabric, underneath my tea towel. You can use a piece of cardboard, one of those sticky. Magnolia has these great inking surface things. You could use a paper towel, but you don't want to stencil directly on your crafting area because it will go through a little bit. Okay, with this combination, I think I'm going to do some of this green again. I love it. It's ink. And then I think we'll do some of this, which is the navy blue. Magnolia has a slightly new blue ink as well, but I'm using this old one. Okay, and then I need a couple little spatula thingy-mabobs. I need some little squeegees, and then there's going to be a few tight areas, so I'm going to use these. These are called paintbrush squeegees. They come a set of 5, and you guys, these are great. They're like a squeegee on a paintbrush, and that you get all different shapes with the package of 5. And they're great for getting in those tight, hard little areas. So if you don't have these, I definitely recommend them. They're a great crafting basic. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to do? I think it's always such a dilemma. I think I'm going to do the words hour and with and these little leaves in green. And I'm going to start with just a teeny, this is a cut apart squeegee that I've cut into a 1/4. And when you're working with ink, you do want to move relatively quickly because you don't want it to dry in your stencil too much. I think these are so little, I would definitely be better off to use my little paintbrush squeegees. So if you're watching live or on replay and you have a set of these paintbrush squeegees, tell all of us in the comments what you think about them. I think most people love them, and you guys, they're like $10.99 or something for 5, and they are, just looking, they are great, I think. The times that I forget to use them, I'm like, dang, I made a mistake, and I could have completely avoided that if I had remembered to use my little squeegee. Okay, so I have the green on, and now I'm going to use just a regular squeegee to do the bigger parts, the blue. But when it's close into the green areas, I'll get my squeegee back out, my little paintbrush one. So right there, we're for sure going to use the squeegee. And honestly, if you're brand new to stenciling, then you might just want to use one color. Just until you've practiced a little bit. It's not hard. It's just having control over where you're putting it. And that is a little challenging when you're brand new. The other thing you can do is sort of the swirly do technique, and then you don't have to be precise about anything. Okay, I'm going to get another squeegee, and let's put this right here. So let me tell you about how to make this permanent. After you've stenciled and you've let it dry thoroughly, the longer the better. Overnight is the best, but sometimes I'm too eager and I can't stand to wait that long. 2 hours minimum, so it's not sticky to the touch at all. Then you want to use your iron or heat press if you have one of those. I don't have that. And you just want to go over it for 3 or 4 minutes, no steam, with a piece of parchment paper over the top of it. And 3 or 4 minutes front and back, and then it'll be washable, it'll be completely permanent. It's great. And it's something that you made, which I think the best gifts are the homemade ones. That's just my opinion. Okay, I think I pretty much have everything here. So this is what it looks like. And there's a little bit underneath, so I'll be picking this up carefully. And I'm just going to try to pull it down straight. And it looks adorable, and oh my gosh, I'm throwing it in a little tub of water over here off to the side so it can soak until I can get into the kitchen to get it cleaned up. Look how cute that is. And does it not go with the bottom just perfectly? I think it does. Okay, let me quickly clean this off. Because it did go through, and I don't want to set anything in it by accident and get it smudged with green or blue ink. This little mat that I'm working on right here, I get questions about this all the time. It was sent to me by one of my followers a while ago because she said she was tired of seeing me waste so many paper towels and cardboard, cake boards, and stuff like that. So it's made of silicone. She got hers. This was part of a bigger one, I believe, but she got hers from, oh gosh, one of those online auction things, but you can get these also on Amazon, and in all different colors. This side has the little squares, but it's great because you can paint or do whatever you would like to do on it, and it just cleans right off. So nice. So here's the second one that I just did now. Don't want to mess it up. And this was the first one. And when I'm not live, I'll finish the ruffles on this one, and I'll probably use this stencil to do it in navy blue and maybe this turquoise color. That would be pretty to go with this fabric right here. But anyways, that's the project. So what do you guys think? Lisa Ramsey, the owner of Magnolia, hey! One of them, she says she likes the color combination. Thank you. Well, you know what? These stencils are adorable. And this is such a versatile set of these two pieces that you could make tea towels for any occasion, any time of the year, in absolutely any color combination that appeals to you. You don't have to have ruffles on it. That's just an extra. It could just be a straight bottom tea towel, or you could, you know, add some ribbon or something to it. So anyways, I hope you guys liked these ideas. I will get pictures close up of the projects so you can see. If you have questions, let me know. If you want links to the stencils, any of the ink, the paintbrush squeegees, our small cut apart squeegees, or anything else from Magnolia, just let me know. Okay, she's asking about the strips. Okay, they started out, I think, let me measure, 2.5 inches wide. And then I folded it in half and ironed it. So it's like 2 1/4 inches wide. And then these tea towels that we used here came from this package. And they are 18 inches wide. And then they're 28 inches long. And I like this shape. It's a rectangle. I like the shape so much better than the tea towels that are square. I also like this particular fabric on this tea towel a lot better than your just your really thin ones, your flour sack tea towels. It's nicer, it washes nicer, it's hemmed, it's not going to be wonky, and so I definitely recommend these. I use them all the time. We use the natural color today, but I've purchased them in white as well. I've also purchased them in light gray. They came from Walmart in the craft section next to the embroidery supplies. So I think, let's see if there's any other questions. How did you keep the trim on? Great question. Okay, so I used my Surebonder fabric glue gun. I have two. I have one that's for regular glue and one that's for fabric glue. I keep that separate. And then I used this. This is Surebonder fabric sticks, mini. They're lower temperature because you're using them in a low temperature glue gun, and these are washable. So for fabric, for something that, like a t-shirt, if I was going to put the ruffles on, like I did with that light blue shirt that I wore yesterday, the ruffles on the sleeves were just glued on using this. Something that would get washed, you definitely want to use fabric glue, not your regular hot or low temperature glue stick. And this came from Hobby Lobby, and it was $3.99, and there's 18 sticks in here. Surebonder brand. They're so cute. The colors are so pretty and match the ruffles. Well, the colors that I used were inspired by this jelly roll that was sent to me by Cheryl Anderson. So thank you, Cheryl. I so appreciate it. Is this blouse that I'm wearing with, yes, I did this a couple days ago. This is just fabric, and this was a t-shirt from Target. You could use any t-shirt. And this is just fabric that I did apply this to these sleeves using my sewing machine. But the light blue t-shirt that I had on yesterday during Price and Crafting that had the little bit longer ruffle sleeves, that one was done with this fabric, low temperature hot glue. So, do I have an app to look at the... Charlotte, I don't have an app, but I can get you a link to Magnolia, to these specific items, so you don't have to hunt it down, because I know that's kind of frustrating. So I'll get you a direct link to the stencil, a direct link to the inks, a direct link to these bad boys, to the cut apart squeegee, or anything else that you would like. All right, well, you guys, if you liked this project or any of this stuff that we do here at DiyDreaming, do a this or a this. That's a heart. Say something to me in the comments. Check to make sure that you've liked and followed this page. and you turn on your notifications. I do have a text alert thing as well, which I cannot remember the number. That's so funny, but I honestly cannot. So I'll drop throughout these comments the link that you can send a text message to sign up for my text alerts whenever I go live, if you would like. And just look for hot pink, because it's a hot pink image that says text me, and it has the number. Charity, I'll get you a link as soon as I'm finished. Did I glue the raw edge to the towel? No, I did not. I glued, well, part of it is, but I glued basically the area where I cinched it up using my sewing machine to do that running or basting stitch. But you could come back and add a little more glue. I probably will, but I think it'll be fine. It's cut on the raw edge with pinking shears, and if it does a little bit of fuzzing and fraying, I think that'll look cute. How many washes does the glue stand up to? I don't know exactly, but I have some tea towels in my kitchen that I've used this low temperature hot fabric glue on, and you know, they look terrible because my husband keeps cleaning the coffee pot with them, but I have ribbon on some of them and ruffles on some of them. It's not falling off, so I think this will hold up as long as you want to keep it. And eventually, once they get really gunky looking, I just toss them and make some more. But you really can never be too young, too rich, too skinny, or have too many tea towels. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'm gonna sit down and read all your comments. I'm gonna get links out to everybody who wants them. So just say link in the comments, and I'll get that for you just to make it super convenient. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Thanks for joining me. If you want to see the t-shirts, the ruffled sleeves, that's in my videos here at DIY Dreaming, and it was just, we did it either on Friday or Saturday, so just a few days ago from the time that I'm recording this video. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Whoops.